Hi, Bahu here. Welcome back. In the last episode, we talked about using Amazon Q developer customization to generate CDK L2 constructs like a Redshift serverless, the work group construct, as well as the namespace construct. It was great, and I really enjoy it. I end up writing up a blog post on community AWS. So in case you miss it, just go to community.aws and search CDK or search my name, Pahud, and you will, okay, or just go to trending, scroll down the trending, you probably will see some of my articles like this. Just click into this article. I essentially wrote a blog post to talk about the experience using Amazon Q customization to generate the CDK constructs, and you can jump into any timestamp of your interest. Also, I have some lesson learned here. So today I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper to explore how to generate the from method or CDK constructs. So if you are familiar with CDK L2, they have a bunch of from method like from resource ARN, from resource name, from whatever that essentially allow you to reference an existing resource, probably out of CDK, so you can have all the attribute on this object for the cross resource reference, which is great. Let's check a real example. For example, ECS cluster, ECS L2 construct for the cluster resource, right? And we have a bunch of from method like from cluster attributes, from cluster ARN. And if you look a little bit closer, those from method essentially define an import class that extends resource and implements its interface. And because it implements its interface, so it would have some public attributes like cluster ARN or cluster name defined in the interface. And if you look at this method, it just returns the new import instance from the new import, right? So I guess this is a very simple pattern. We probably can ask Amazon Q developer, say, hey, can you generate something like this for me? And we'll see how to, how to interact with the Amazon Q developer chat to help us generate something like that. Okay, so let's get it started. I've already uploaded all my CDK code from last episode to a private GitHub repository. It's called Pahud CDKQ. Okay, so you see CDKQ is literally everything we built in the last episode for the work group as well as the namespace L2 constructs, and they have no from methods at this moment. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna create, I'm gonna launch a dev environment from Code Catalyst using this private repository as the source. Okay, so in case you miss it, I actually had an episode sharing how to do that using the Amazon Code Catalyst to link a repository from GitHub into the Code Catalyst repository, right? But that episode was Mandarin, so I'm gonna do it again in English today. Okay, so let's jump into the Code Catalyst. So yeah, this is my Code Catalyst, and I'm gonna go to the project. I have an AWS CDK project, and I have a bunch of source repository here. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna create a virtual repository. I say virtual, it's because it literally is from GitHub, not in the Code Catalyst. It's just a link. So I'm gonna create a link repository, link to GitHub, right? And I'm gonna link a specific private repository from my GitHub account. which is CDKQ. Okay, that's it. So we just created a linked repository. It's the provider is GitHub. Why should we do that? By creating a link like this, we can create a dev environment for that linked repository. So that is my intention. Okay, so let's just select CDKQ, create dev environment, select VS Code, medium 32. I would like to make it 1 hour or 2 hours, but I think 1 hour would be pretty enough. So just create my dev environment. Oh, okay, it's coming. So what's happening now is that I'm literally using my local VS Code client, but actually the computer is at Amazon Catalyst dev environment is from remote. So including the storage, computer and storage, all from remote. So there will be nothing installed from my local laptop. Nothing will screw up my local laptop, which is awesome. Okay, a built-in terminal. So it's the built-in terminal is actually Linux, even though my laptop is Mac OS M1 or M2. I'm still running on a remote Linux AMD64 architecture environment. Yeah, which is great. So now I'm gonna log in my AWS credentials. First time, if you look at the dev environment, there is nothing but a dummy AWS config like this. And I personally prefer to have a shell script to configure my AWS config. So I'm gonna run this shell script. Bootstrap, okay, and run an AWS SSO login for the first time. Okay, I got my identity. So if you are interested, you can look at my config. So I actually have a shell script to configure my AWS config like this using my identity center. So I can just hit AWS SSO login to get a temporary credential, which is great. Okay, so I'm gonna open the Amazon Q, install the Q extension. Amazon Q, okay, sign in. So I'm gonna add the new connection identity center. Okay. And Amazon Q. Okay, hit this continue. Okay, we are in. Okay, so now we have Amazon Q Developer Pro license enabled with us in the VS Code IDE. So now I'm gonna open the CDK code. Okay, so this is everything we built from last episode. We have the work group, we have namespace, right? So now I'm gonna ask Amazon Q to generate those from methods for me. Again, if you look at the ECS cluster, it has a from cluster attributes or from cluster ARN method that essentially return an iCluster interface, and it has an import class in this method that literally extends resource and implements iCluster and eventually return a new import instance, right? So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna ask, hold on a second, I probably should select my customization, right? Amazon Q select customization. Okay, I should select this customization. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so our first attempt would be like, okay, so create a from work group name method for me in the work group construct class that I can use work group from work group name scope ID name to have to create a reference that represents iWork group, right? Okay. Okay, let's see. Sure, I can help you with that. Okay, come on. Okay, so this is our L2 construct, right? And it's our existing construct code here. So now it's generating the from work group method for us, which implements I work group. That's great, but not good enough. I think we should describe the pattern this way. In the from method, define a import class that extends what? Extends resource. Implements what? Implements I work group, and eventually return new import in the from work group name method, right? Okay, so it should define a little import class for us that implements the I work group. Okay, this is interesting. So it literally defines an import class here, but it's having a constructor. No, we don't need constructor. We don't need constructor. We just need a very dummy import class. We don't need constructor in the import class, right? Because if you look at how ECS cluster works, the import class is just like this, very straightforward. And we only need the attributes defined as the public attribute here, right? Okay, we don't need this, right? Let's ask in a different way, in the from work group name method, define an import class that extends resource, implements the interface. We don't need the constructor in the import class. This is just a class with all the public attributes required in the I work group interface, right? To return this, right? This way. Okay, much better. Yeah, much better. Make the function. Okay, it's pretty close to the ECS cluster, right? So what we are doing now here, I'm gonna just copy everything, work group here, right? So we have the from method, from the group name method defined, which is generated by Amazon Q developer. Awesome. And yeah, it's great because it's using format ARN to format the ARN for us. So I guess the customization may work here. So this is great. So we are having the from work group name here. So maybe we need another from method like from work group attributes, right? So I would like to ask it to generate a similar from method for us using this pattern. So I'm gonna ask. So this time I'm gonna use a keyword workspace. So workspace is a keyword. It's a beta feature to reference all code in this workspace. So it would just read everything in my in this repository as a context to help it to inference better code for us. So I'm gonna use the code workspace. Okay. So generate from work, let's call it from work group ARN method, just like when I specify like work group from work group ARN scope ID ARN literally return an I work group for me. Follow the pattern from work group name to generate this function. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have from group name already. Now we have from group ARN, which is having an import class that extends CDK resource implements iGroup. iWork group is great, and yeah, it's great. It's essentially follow the same pattern, so I can simply copy paste this into my class. Yeah. So now my L2 construct is having two from method. First one from workgroup name, second one from workgroup ARN. Awesome. Now I need to generate for another L2 constructs. So I'm gonna say, hey, workspace. Hey, generate what? From namespace name. Similarly for me, for the code is generated for namespace, which is great. So I'm gonna copy and insert into my existing code. Okay, now I think we should generate some documents, inline documents for all the class and functions, public class and functions, right? So yeah, let's generate for the work group send to prompt and functions. So in CDK, every single public elements, either properties or class or functions should have the document. Otherwise, the linter will fail when you submit your pull request to AWS CDK. Improve the doc string for it. What's going on? Inline doc string for the constructs and functions. Okay, awesome. Whoa, that's a lot. I work group and work group props and from work group name method, from work group name method, from work group ARN method. Okay, so we probably should have some document here, right? I'll say add doc string class represents, right? This would represent the work group. Okay, which is awesome. Okay, and now we need everything for the namespace. Add everything similar for namespace construct and methods. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's make it this way. Add everything similar for all public elements. Should always have doc string with it. Okay, better now. So we have okay, so this is iWork group. Okay, now namespace here represents the namespace. Okay, and we need define the public attributes here for this class from namespace name, from namespace ARN constructor. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now we have everything we need for the document string for every single public element, including the L2 constructs as well as all the from methods as well. So I think we are good. We are good here. Probably we should add some documents as well for I work group and work group props above. I work group interface and work group props right? I namespace and namespace props as well. Okay, so I think we are good. Yeah, so we have all the L2 constructs as well as the construct from methods, uh, like from resource name or from resource ARN, and the Amazon Q is using the from format ARN to help us to build up the ARN string, which is great. So I think this is pretty close to what we really need, but definitely need some verification by deployment. Yep. Okay. So I think we are good here. So I'm gonna commit and push all the way back to my repository. Okay, and I'm gonna push to origin. So my origin is actually code catalyst source repository, but code catalyst will forward the push to the upstream, which is my GitHub repository. So I'm gonna push all the way to the code catalyst. Okay, we are good. Let's check our GitHub repository. Okay, we are good. So we have now we have all the from methods generated by Amazon Q customization, as well as the docstring, and yeah, we are using the code catalyst dev environment with Amazon Q extension to help us generate everything, and we leverage the customization we built in the last episode to help us to generate the way with CDK pattern, general pattern from AWS CDK. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. So I believe over time we by generate more and more L2 constructs like this, and we could generate yet another customization using our own generation, our own code assets, and that would be awesome because we are generating more and more L2 constructs, and eventually we should help ourselves to build up our customization. So that would be really awesome. So next time we probably could explore how to generate EKS cluster. I mean native CloudFormation implementation from L1 to using the customization, and let's see if we can really deploy an EKS cluster using that generated code. Okay. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any comments. We'll see you next time. Bye.